And they lean into it. Where they're like, oh, he looks like a pedophile. And then he goes, eh. And then he like wiggles his eyebrows.
You have a left thumb too, a left hand too.
So let's fucking laugh from the first minute to the last. Mush it up, let's fucking go. Mush it up, let's fucking go. Light up the kush, now it's time to laugh. So hold on to your tush, the one and only Mush Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is episode 23. As you can tell, this is an office episode. We are not in Stay Hydrated Studios. We are so sorry, Duck. We have forsaken you, but I'm healing from surgery, and I'm not allowed to leave. So I'm stuck in my house. So we're doing a podcast, MUSH, Tony-less episode, with our guest, Anthony Beisel, everybody.
Also a form of Tony.
Yeah. Could be the substitute Tony we need. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah Hughes.
Crispin.
And we're fucking mush, man. You can't build us up, you can't break us down. I haven't said that in a while.
It's been a while, dude. It feels like it.
But it's still true. You know, you never can build me up. Mm-hmm. It's a never-ending battle that you will fail at.
Yeah, but you will break down.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly a lot.
Were you breaking down on stage recently?
No, I did have one. I've been fucking doing new stuff again, so I'm back to bombing the usual shit, you know. And I made a joke about something, and then about somebody's like mom, like as a reference, and the fucking no laughs, and I was like, you know what, she's fucking dead. And then I got off stage, and everybody was like, oh. But no, I try not to melt down. I've seen a few. I don't know if you've been like at the open mics when like the crowd is either like interruptive or like not responsive. Yeah. And I see those guys that like fucking chimp out on stage at the crowd, and I'm like, it's not them, dude. I mean, it could be. To be fair, it's never like not the crowd sometimes, but it's like you gotta compose. You gotta keep yourself composed.
For sure.
Every chimp out's like 10 people that will never forget you fucking sucking.
Jeremiah and I were at an open mic a couple months ago, and there were these two guys in the crowd, and they were just the worst. They were just going on and on, interrupting. That's actually the same night that lady almost died in the bathroom.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
How did she almost die?
Yeah, it was...
I was really angry.
I was on stage, right? Like...
Yeah, you were on stage when, like, it got discovered that there was something wrong.
Oh, yeah, that was that showcase night. Yeah, it wasn't an open mic, so we were doing, like, a showcase or whatever on a Thursday. And there were, like, dudes mad heckling everybody. And everybody tried to, like, roll with it and, like, be like, hey, like, you know, whatever, and, like, try to make a joke of it. And I've just seen it enough times. Like, I think Adam Tiller was who really taught me this. But he was like, I saw him do it. He didn't, like, sit down and tell me to do this. But he was on stage, and he's like, hey, man, like, I know you're trying to have fun. I'm glad you're having fun. But everyone else paid a lot of money to have fun, too. And just wondering if I could do my act. And it really takes the shit out from people's wings, you know? Yeah. When you're like, yeah, hey, like, I know you're trying to have fun, but, like, no one else is having fun. Like, you're kind of ruining it. And, like, also, I'm not a jukebox. I can stop and be like, hey, dude, stop.
Yeah.
You know? And so I did that night, where I was like, I get you're trying to have fun, dude, but this isn't fun. And, like, you're ruining everyone else's time. And everyone started clapping. I'm like, they hate you, dude. Like, stop. You know? And then so she was at the table, right?
The girl that went down was at the table.
Yeah, so she went to the bathroom and just keeled the fuck over. And they had to call an ambulance, and, like, an ambulance came in while I was on stage. And, like, so I'm standing on stage looking out, and then I just see, like, a gurney going back to the bathroom, and I'm like, Damn. And then I called attention to it, which I didn't think... I thought in the moment would have relieved the tension.
You made a death joke, I think.
Yep.
It's too bad you didn't say your ambulance joke, because then you could have been like, all right, my dad's here, cool.
Oh, yeah, right?
It's like, let me tell you, he is a bad driver, so she's not going to make it.
You're giving codes to your dad like a manager calling his backup pitcher in, like don't do it. Like,
yeah.
Turn around now.
She's out.
She's a heckler.
This is safe. This is out.
I don't want to throw suspicion on these two dudes, but it is suspicious that the woman at their table passed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, super
What were they
suspicious.
doing?
No, I wonder.
Well,
like,
when you time the roofies wrong, it just doesn't hit.
You got to know your timing. It's in comedy and in drugs.
It's about 5 minutes before you head out of the show before you get back.
I took ecstasy too early once, and I went to class so high, and I was like, God damn, I love film, dude. My body feels good. But I was just stoned out of my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I miss college just to go to class on drugs, you know, get a little high, get a little drunk, and then just go to class and be like, fucking history rocks, dude.
Yeah, I never really did that. I was paying to put myself through school, so
Yeah. I did
took
the
it
well,
seriously.
I worked 3 jobs. I deserved a party.
Yeah, I mean, I had funding for a little while, and then I like fucked around and didn't take it seriously, and then lost funding.
Yeah, they take
And
that
then-
shit away quick.
Took, I don't know, a few years off, and then decided to go back, and I paid my way through to finish the degree, because it just like made me feel like a loser not having like not finishing it, you know?
What did you finish, associates or bachelor's?
Yeah, associate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 1 semester away from my bachelor's, and so I'm like, I gotta go back and get it.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
You
Yeah.
gotta get that.
I went to school, and then that was like the same year that, because I had 3 jobs when I first started school, and I got my associates through that, and I was like, I should get my bachelor's, why the fuck not? And then that's when my mom got really sick, and then I started fucking around because I was getting like stressed about it, and then I just dropped out. I was like, you know what, I'm just not gonna go. So I dropped out, but they didn't take the dropouts and didn't tell me, so they fucking made me pay back all this money that I had got from a grant, and it was like fucking $2,500.
Yeah.
And then they like the girl I was talking to was like, I can get it down to 1,500. I'm like, how? How are you doing this? Like, what fucking like? Then get it down to 500.
Yeah, get it down to nothing, man?
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
trying to go. She's like, no, 1,500 best I could do. I don't feel like it was
Best
but-
offer.
Yeah, but I was like, I'll take it.
She's
She
Keep
Rick
it
Harrison, you man. She Rick Harrison.
She did something to me. She definitely fucked my bank account up. But yeah, since was 1 semester left, I was like, I might as well finish it up. But it's all like the 4,000 classes, whatever they're called, and so you actually have to like try. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that.
Those are the worst classes when you have to try.
Yeah, and
They're
you
just not easy A's and shit.
no, because all the other ones were online, and they put the curriculum, the full fucking semester on the computer, so I could just slam like a couple of Red Bulls on a weekend and just blast through the whole semester in one sitting. Because I can read if I like.
Red Bulls, huh?
Yeah. Now it's Red Bulls. Can't be anything else. But yeah, I used to just slam a couple of Red Bulls and read through the whole fucking textbook, and then I would just take all the tests, do all the exams, and then the teacher would usually message and be like, "Hey, like you're kind of done, so if you don't want to take the final, don't worry about it." And I'm
What?
like, cool. Yeah.
What kind of special privileges are you getting?
Dude, when you do an
You
entire
don't have to take a final?
Nope. When you do the entire semester in fucking 2 days, teachers are like, this guy, something's fucked up.
I feel like
with this
maybe
guy."
he wasn't at the nicest college, is what's going on.
Well, UTSA is not a bad college.
Well, it sounds like a UTI, so, you know.
I got a UTI at UTSA. Do they have that at the gift shop?
I
when you get
wish, dude. I fucking would love that. I got a CTE.
Dude, there's CTE. There's no better feeling when that FAFSA hit and everyone's lining up for that ATM.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there's so many people I knew that signed up for a semester, and they're like, I got money! And then I never saw them again. Never fucking came back to class, never fucking showed up. They put me in fucking remedial math when I first got there, because I took my SATs super hungover, actually. I was a little drunk still. And so I didn't fucking do anything. And I was like, ugh. And so they made me retest, because I was like, I don't think I belong in this class. And they made me retest, and then they bumped me back up to college level, and I was like, thank God. Because like I went into that class, and it was just like a bunch of like 30, 40-year-old people who were like, I haven't been to school in 15 years. And I'm like, that's sad.
And you're like, oh, this is like 2 years for me.
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
I was actually at school yesterday.
I've been fucking off.
Yeah.
Well, something the folks probably don't know about Anthony is that he won free tickets through Tacoma Comedy Club for an entire year to any headliner that he wants. And so something that I think is really cool about Anthony is he's seen more national touring headlining acts than 90% of the comics in the scene.
That's fucking crazy.
95% of the comics in the scene. Guesstimate over 100 headliners you've seen.
Oh, it hasn't been that much. Since I got the free tickets in September, I've probably seen
every
40.
weekend.
I'll go like 35 or 40 acts.
Damn.
And that's not even counting how many people I've seen before just
Yeah.
from buying tickets and stuff.
It's
fucking
way
crazy.
more than that.
Has there been anybody that you were like, this was worth the win? Like,
Oh, so many people.
Oh, yeah,
He's
there's
seen
been a
Jordan
bunch.
Jensen. I mean,
Jordan Jensen was great. Harlan Williams. God, I'm gonna land flat on my ass and not be able to name many people right now. But there's been so many.
You like Kill
so many
Tony? You
people.
saw all the Kill Tony dudes?
I think I saw. Who did I
You
see?
saw Rocket, you saw William, you saw
Casey
Hans.
was before. I did see. Yeah, the only person that was within that time frame of the free tickets was Hans. But I have seen like Casey Rocket and like Uncle Laser and all that stuff.
Who's
Yeah.
the best out of all of the Kill Tony guys? And this is just your opinion.
Easy. I got my. It's William Montgomery.
William Montgomery.
Yeah.
That's fucking
He's I've always
Kennison, dude.
I've always told Jeremiah this ever since I've seen him. He's the top 3 live comedians that I've seen. Like, I'm not saying he's the top 3 comics out right now, but just like energy that he brought at the show, how much I was laughing, much good of a time I had. It's like the 3 best people I've ever seen live. Gillis when he came to Tacoma Comedy
dude, I
Club,
can't imagine
2021.
Missed that show.
I know.
He was number 1 for me that I've seen live. Number 2 would be William Montgomery. It was like front row to him. I brought a bunch of friends, and that was cool to see their reaction. And then Harlan Williams was the 3rd. I saw him a couple months
I've
ago.
never seen Harlan
Dude,
Williams.
he killed
It's
when
a
he came
fever
through.
dream.
Yeah. Dude, he killed when he came through Tacoma, man. He's such a funny person. Like, his podcast is really great. And his comedy, like he said, a fever dream is the best way to describe his stand-up. It's so wacky. And he's like, he'll be like, what about my favorite moments from Harlan Williams' show? He does a lot of faux pas crowd work. So, what seems like crowd work, but like little do you know, he does it every show. He says this, but he's like, ma'am, he says, he goes, oh, what a beautiful smile. Yeah, what a beautiful smile. And he goes, no, behind you, ma'am. Like, yeah, and it just totally takes the wind out from their sails. And it's a little thing, it's not like a huge joke he built on, but it's just that
fun.
little thing where he'll like point at a guy and be like, sir, close your legs. Like, and it's just so funny.
He'll be doing a joke, and he'll be like, sir, if you could close your fucking legs, I can smell the sea right now.
Yeah.
Or just some like random stuff like that.
Or yeah, he'll be like, ma'am, if you could listen to me without looking at me, that would be great. Can you close your eyes? Those are hideous. Like, it's just funny shit, dude. Yeah.
I gotta get into Harlan Williams. I keep hearing good things. And
Oh,
I keep
he's
not
great.
giving
So
in.
funny, dude. He's like pure comedy.
Yeah.
Where like he's just so goofy and nonsensical. If you have any comedian on his podcast, they'll be like, I can't keep up with this guy. He's just pure comedy. Like he's boom, boom, boom. Like, you thought Mark Norman was good at puns and shit like that. Mark Norman was on his podcast, got blown out of the fucking water, dude.
I'm gonna have to check this guy out.
And then, something like that, Harlan would be like, who's water? Why did he get blown? And then you're like, why did you think, kind of thing. It's so random and fever dream. That's a perfect description, fever dream-esque.
Yeah. So I took my brother to that show because my brother loves comedy too, and I love taking him to shows and stuff.
I met him, right?
Yeah, Scott. Yeah.
Looks like
He went-
Seth Fairchild. Exactly like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
Creepy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
He went. We all went to Dave Attell in Portland like a year ago too. It was like probably in October actually or something.
Yeah, that was the guy that was with us.
Yeah. I like him.
But anyway, I take him to a lot of comedy, so I took him to Harlan Williams, and he and I will both say that he legit had us both crying, like tears in our eyes, within like 30 seconds after him being on stage.
That's fucking crazy.
He's just so quick. Like there's a glass that got dropped when he was talking, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know they made fucking contact lenses that big." It's stupid stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's so funny, and that's the type of humor I could really get behind, because, like, especially in an era of, like, edgelordy bullshit.
Yeah.
Someone tried to, like, accuse me of being shocking, like, overly shocking the other day, and I was like, you're talking to the wrong guy, dude. I had said, I was like, oh, yeah, like a couple of these are over the line. And they're like, a couple's over the line for Jeremiah? That's really saying something. I'm like, I'm not some edgelord douchebag,
Yeah.
I'm not up there like, abortions, am I right, folks? Like, I might have a little bit of a twisted sense of humor, but,
Yeah. It's not all fucking death and abortions and whatever the hell else those Azores talk
I
about.
got LASIK jokes. I got silly little nonsensical things.
It's like, some people were sensitive about LASIK.
Yeah, so well, actually, that was what they were referencing.
Really?
That was way over the line. No, I just thought
outta
it would
here.
be funny.
You're like, my LASIK got fucked up. I think the line's over here.
Yeah, I can't see fucking anything anymore.
Thank God you're not one of those cases where they botch it and you just have to end your own life because of the chronic pain that'll never go away. You ever think about how lucky you are?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so weird because when I started the consultations for this, they're like, 1 in a million shot that this ain't gonna work. You're a perfect candidate. And then the next appointment, they'd be like, just so you know, I gotta tell you, it's like 1 in 100, 1 in 100 chance you'll go blind forever and be in immense pain. And I was like, 1 in 100? And they're like, or did I say 100? I meant 1,000.
Yeah.
It's 1 in 1,000. It's never gonna happen. And you show up to the last one, and they're like, just so you know, it's like a 1 in 3 chance this isn't gonna work.
Damn.
And you're like, what?
They're
and they're like, we're not
actually-
saying you're gonna go blind, but it's just 1 in 3 shot ain't
They-
gonna turn out peaches.
They might explode.
So it's, yeah, they might explode. Yeah, dude, it's 90% chance it might be Dr. Evil's death ray. We don't know. It hasn't happened yet. We're not ruling out the
This isn't
possibility.
a LASIK ray, this is a death ray. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Mix it up all the time.
Ah, jeez.
That's why, oh, man.
I accidentally flipped it on Death Beam, not LASIK.
Wish I had that with my ex-wife, am I right?
Yeah.
You doing stick with me right now?
Yeah. But, no, I mean, it is terrifying because it would go... I mean, it wasn't 1 in a third. But, towards the end, I remember being like... I'm going to be completely honest. You were saying, 1 in 1,000 earlier. Now you're like, it might not work. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And technically, my LASIK wasn't perfect because I have, halos around lights and stuff at night. Which...
It's a premonition is what that's called.
Yeah, you're seeing angels.
angels.
If you look like an angel... Oh, you just got light behind you. Never mind.
Yeah, no, but I always had that from my contacts anyway. So it's not like I'm out. It's what I've always seen anyway. But I do have 2010 vision. So I have better than perfect because perfect's 2020.
A lot of Pitbull playing in your 2010 visions.
What?
These are good song reference.
Oh. Mr. Worldwide? You talking about Mr. Worldwide?
Maybe. You said you had 2010 vision, so I didn't know if you were watching Jersey Shore and listening to Pitbull or something.
2010 vision, yeah. What was?
I love boobies, bracelets.
What were we ripping in 2010?
Well, you're still ripping weed, but
Never stopped.
Yeah, I mean, what were we ripping back then?
Definitely acid.
For sure, Jersey Shore.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you watch Jersey Shore?
Oh,
big
oh my
Jersey
God,
Shore
dude.
douches. Yeah. We loved Jersey Shore. Everyone in that time frame loved Jersey Shore. It was fun.
Crazy.
We
I
were
never
the
watched
demo
it.
they were going for.
Yeah.
Just
We were
trashy
in.
people,
We
yeah.
were in.
I mean,
Just trashy people. I meant kids in high school, but
Yeah,
continue.
that's true. I fucking...
That's the only people that think going to the Jersey Shore and rubbing your sweaty body on strangers is cool is teenagers.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. I couldn't get into it. I think I was past that era. I watched it. I just get angry. I'm like, these fucking people suck.
I blame that show on why I don't know Spanish today because our Spanish table, I don't know about your high school, but we didn't sit in individual desks. We had a large desk and there was probably 10 of them spread across the room that could hold 5 or 6 kids.
Large desk, a table.
Yeah. Was it in a fucking trailer?
It was a table. It was definitely a little bit larger than this. But our table, or desk, or large desk, really loved
What is a table but a large desk?
All right, fine. It was a couch.
really got down with Jersey Shore. So we would watch it weekly or wherever it came out, maybe once a week. And then we would just discuss what happened in Jersey Shore in Spanish.
Crazy.
And that's why I probably never learned Spanish.
Yeah.
Situation es muy guapo.
Es loca. Crazy.
Rani es muy inteligente.
Levantar pesos.
How do you say, what they used to say, gym tan abs or some shit?
Gym tan laundry.
Gym tan, can you say that in Spanish?
Como se dice gym tan laundry en español?
What is gym in Spanish?
It's like gym.
Suri will tell us. Translate gym tan laundry into Spanish.
Lavandería de gym tan.
There you
That
go.
sounds pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the ring to it.
No, it doesn't.
Lavandería de gym tan.
De. I like that. I hooked up with this chick one time, and afterwards, like I don't remember where I was at. I just woke up in some house with this chick, and then afterwards, we went out for breakfast, and then
We get it. You're hot. You hook up.
this
with
was back in the day. This was a rare find for me, so I was having
I was
a
just
great time.
referencing that douchebag.
Oh yeah, did we tell you about that fucking douchebag?
I don't
Sorry,
think
I mean to
No.
derail.
The end of the story wasn't that great. It was just they fucking started talking about Jersey Shore and watching it, and then I realized the way they talked, and I was like, I made a mistake. I'm so glad I wore a condom.
Oh no!
Yeah. But yeah, we were at this fucking show, and this guy, like, the unsolicited advice bullshit, which I get, but he's like,
What do you mean by that? Vice bullshit?
like, like whenever you do
Advice.
like advice, like,
Oh, advice. Okay.
yeah. And so after this show, this guy came up to me and he's like, I think you're a great writer, but I just want to say I think we get it. You're good looking and you get laid. I think you have too much sex material. I think you're a good writer. You should just stop doing those jokes. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, it's a bar, so I figured those jokes fit in well here. And I was going to reference too that, like, I have all my jokes timed out, and the sex material is like a chunk, and it's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And I was doing a 10-minute. I ended up doing 12 minutes roughly, but a 10-minute set, so that's 1/5 of the entire set roughly.
Yeah.
And I was going to reference this to him, and I was like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I was like, what do I fucking care what he's saying? But I get what he had good intentions. Anybody who's giving you advice has fucking solid intentions. But he just, like, kept going, and I was like, okay, what else do you think? And I just let him keep talking.
So you think
keep
he
going.
actually had good intentions? You don't think he was, like, sneak dissing you or anything? Or
No, he also apparently,
Sneak this.
he used to be a comic, and then he, like, ran a show, and I was like, well, I get what he's saying. I've been given advice before. I don't think that he's a bad person. I don't want to think about it. Like, this person's trying to give advice and trying to help somebody. I just don't think that it comes across very well when you're telling somebody, like, don't do these jokes anymore. It's like, how were you ever, like, if you're a comic, you're not going to fucking listen.
Yeah.
Especially if the joke works. Like, why the fuck would I stop doing it? Unless it's a hack, or if it's, like, done somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then it's like, all right, that's a joke worth quitting.
I've told people that I'm like, hey, that's a fucking Joe List bit, and
Yeah.
they keep doing it, and that's
That's right.
that's when you got to go. All right, I did what I could do.
Yeah. I also think too, though, when I first started, there was a couple of comics who were like, "You're too blue. You got to be cleaner." And I was like, that makes sense. But when you first start, most of your shit's dirty. So, like, it's not really like a choice. It's like you said it one time. You were like, you got to get all the dick jokes out of the way so you can get to the real jokes. So I was like, maybe in his head, I can get away from those jokes and do more intricate jokes later. But this is where I'm at now. So that's why I don't want to think of him as a bad person. I do think it's cunty.
yeah.
But
Very cunty.
yeah, but I'm looking at the positive. I'm trying to be positive.
I've had people kind of reference or like say that my whole act is about Aberdeen, and I'm like, it's literally 3 minutes in a 30-minute act, or like 3 minutes out of whatever. But that's like my opening chunk.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, all this guy talks about is Aberdeen. I'm like, maybe you tune out after 2 minutes, which, to be fair, is exactly what I do with your comedy as
Yeah.
well. Totally get it, but I assure you, it's just 3 minutes. You know, it's to give you context of how poor I am and who I am.
Yeah.
And for example, like I went through a little stint of not using that as a canned opener, and then half my jokes didn't work as well because I didn't already lay myself as an equal. I guess I come off better than an arrogant or whatever, but without coming out and being like, yo, I'm from Aberdeen, I'm a poor piece of shit, just like, I'm a normal guy or whatever.
Just like you.
Guys, I know I
Just
look
like
famous.
you guys. I almost said just like all you guys. But like a lot of the time, it's just like being like, hey man, we equals, right? But like if I don't start the context with that, and then I just start shitting on stuff, and then they're like, who's this
ew.
guy?
You think you're fucking better than me?
yeah, exactly. And it's like I need to make it very obvious early on. Not better than anybody.
You gotta save the cat, dude.
I'm the clown up here. I gotta kill myself.
I gotta save the cat before I kill this cat.
Metaphorically hate myself in front of everybody before they're like, yeah, we get what he's saying.
I'd be angry too if I was that poor.
Yeah. So it's really weird, like when you open up with like, not to mention it's a good chunk. So it's like there's a lot of punches in it. So you earn trust, but also like they'll be like, oh, he laughed at himself. Now we can laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. But if I never like laugh at myself in the beginning, they're like, hey, what the fuck? Because like if you walked in, I'm like, God, I'm an ugly piece of shit. What's your face like? Like you'd be like, ah. But like if I was just like, what's wrong with your face? You'd be like, ah, fuck you. Like
A lot. All right, I was in a fire.
yeah. We can tell.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to be more positive with people when they're like, because I watched this fucking thing and it was like every conversation, there's an intent, and everything that a person says, what are they trying to actually communicate past the words? Okay. So I like listening to shit like that because I like those. Remember we talked about those fucking.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
Yeah, the fucking books that are like the body language books.
Yeah,
that shit was so fucking good. Like learning how to like see how people talk through their bodies. Not in bed. I'm like, oh no, she didn't like that. That's fair. But
apparently like, this is universal.
Yeah. Ow.
you're having sex with Trump. He's like, ow. He's like,
enough of that.
All right, here we go.
Dude, can you imagine Trump banging you doing that dance behind you, and you're like, this sucks.
Yeah. Like,
I'm doing it for my country, but
yeah,
God
dude,
damn.
God bless America.
God bless. I'm full of America right now.
Like he promises you not to do it, but like you'll just check him every once in a while. He's like.
Oh, it's just
Trump,
great ass.
Trump, hog or not hog? What do you think?
No,
I don't see that happening.
Those Whopper hands? Are you kidding me?
Whoppy hands.
I don't think he has small hands. I think that's
propaganda.
News. Yeah,
it's like carrots. It's like carrots being good for your ass.
Yeah, or like Napoleon isn't short.
Oh yeah, he's not short at all. You know how tall he was? He was 6'4".
That's crazy.
I don't know if I believe that. I think he's like 5'10" or whatever. Yeah. But like he like it was propaganda against the French because they wanted to sow deceit on Napoleon, and they're like, guy's fucking short.
You listen to that short little
yeah, like, oh yeah, Napoleon may have almost conquered the world, but fucking short. Yeah, no,
same size as Wolverine.
And then it's just a whole army like, oh.
Yeah. Why do you think he's always on a horse?
Yeah. So what do you think, hog or not hog?
I think I don't think Trump has a micropeen.
No.
I've seen the statue. I'm just totally filled with disinformation.
It's like, why do you want him to have a small dick so bad? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him just like a solid 4 to 6 inch hog.
Dude, what if the maker of that sculpture of him, what if they had
4 isn't that small, by the way.
4 is a good size. The female vagina is only 3.5 at most.
Yeah.
So actually, there's some wiggle room.
No one wants you to hit back. That's what they say to me.
Yeah. It hurts their bellies.
Yeah, so. They say the big ones hurt, which is concerning. How do you know?
That sucks.
But anyways, what if the maker of that sculpture of that statue? What if they actually had good intentions by making him a little peen? Because that used to be a good thing back in the day.
Yeah, they said it was distracting to the art to have a huge hog on a statue.
I would be distracted, that's for sure.
Yes. So, can we touch these?
I'd be like, whoa, dude, that penis has a statue.
Dude, I can't wait for the future where they make statues that can move, but they're still sculptures. And then if like a hot person walks up, you just see the fucking dong, and they're like, "You pass."
He's fucking Clem and getting wheeled out of the house, and Joe Dirt. You remember that's a deep cut, by the way.
Wait! Tell me Joe Dirt. I want to fucking get this reference.
So
you've never seen Joe Dirt?
I have. I actually met somebody who hasn't, and I'm so excited to watch it with them. I'm planning the day.
Okay, so Christopher Walken is Clem. He's the witness protection guy.
Oh, that's right.
He was the janitor in the school.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Dirt, I'm like nerding out right now. This is one of those movies that I went home from 3rd grade, and every day for like a month I watched it on DVD.
That's
I'm not kidding, by the way.
Yeah, you shouldn't be kidding. Joe Dirt's like one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah, so Joe Dirt was
keep going.
He was I think he was the janitor. He was, let's see.
He was the janitor. He was
he was in
what is it called?
The school or whatever.
They put him in like Secret Life.
Yeah, the
Witness protection.
Witness protection.
Yeah.
And the kids were doing a science project up in the school, and they mixed they made poisonous mustard gas.
Yeah.
Well, he was like sweeping the halls or whatever. He was Clem. I'm sorry, Clem was sweeping the halls, mopping the halls and stuff. He figured all that out, saved the kids, drug all the kids out into the hallway, and then once he got recognition for it, he tried to say it was Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt was doing a public, announcement, and he's like, no, that's him over there. It's Clem, whatever.
He held a picture of him too.
Yeah, he held a picture of him, and these mafia dudes came and shot him up. Well, anyway, they were taking Clem out of the building, and they had like that white gurney, the prop over the gurney.
I know what you're talking about.
and Joe Dirt walks up to him. He's like, yeah, maybe now you can, be with your wife. You always used to talk about her. blonde hair, perfect body, supple rack, and just like ever so slightly, like his heart on just starts raising up.
He's like,
Yeah. I forgot how we landed here, but I just like special needs doubt over.
Oh, we were talking about statues getting hard.
This is why a special Anthony Beisel talk is nice, because you never know where we're gonna end up. You know.
Okay, Joe Dirt 2. What'd you think?
I don't think I've watched it. If I have watched it, I stopped watching it or can't remember it.
I hate when you watch a sequel to a movie you love and then you're like, God damn it.
Blocked it out immediately. Yeah.
So I feel the same way about Hot Tub Time Machine. Joe Dirt and Hot Tub Time Machine, top three favorite movies of all time, probably comedies.
What's the other one then? You just said two. You got to give us the third.
Superbad, probably.
Superbad's
pretty that's a
good.
deep cut. Okay.
Yeah, Superbad.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's crazy that that's considered like a classic almost.
Yeah,
it's almost
like
time for it to be just like a cult classic.
Yeah, no, that was a long time. It was 2008.
2008, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe 2007 actually.
Yeah, right.
There was
I
like
just
a
like to be
string.
different. Hold on.
There was like a string of great comedies around Superbad. It was Superbad. Year one was pretty good, I thought.
Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express fucking killed it.
Yep.
Did you ever see a movie called Sorority Boys? I know you haven't seen it because you don't watch movies. But
I have. I've heard of it. I feel like I haven't seen it.
Got that shit on DVD. It's one of the dumbest fucking... Harlan Williams is in it.
Oh,
no way.
Yeah, he's in it. He's fucking so funny. And he's not in it as much as I would like. But it's just these three guys in a frat who get framed for stealing money that they need for like this huge party where they network and get jobs. And if the party sucks, they all get shit jobs. They end up like failing out of college. And so they get accused of stealing, so they leave, and then they dress up as women to get back into the frat to figure out how it happened. And then you hear somebody go, "Fucking dog catcher," and they're like, "Oh, we love this," and they throw nets over them and drag them out and go, "Get the fuck out of here, dogs!" It's not a very PC film. It's very
it doesn't sound. Well, most good films don't age well. I feel
No. And then the girl from the sorority invites them to live there because they don't have anywhere to go. And so they have to pretend to be women to try to figure out this frat, and then they slowly learn more about, how hard it is being a woman. It's actually a good message overall. But yeah, Harlan Williams is in it, and he dressed, and they're like, "What's your name?" And he's like, and it says like Robert, and then he just puts an A like on the lower right side, like he forgot he was supposed to put a fake name, and he's like, "I'm Roberta."
I'm trying to think of a movie I was stuck on as a kid. And there's one that comes to my mind that maybe you guys haven't thought of in a while. But I had it on DVD, that's why I watched it a lot. Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory was so fucking good.
That was a good movie.
Oh, Will Ferrell fucking kills it. In old school, Blades of Glory, fucking everything.
I like how he walks in and he's like in a towel with like a shitty belly. He's like, just thought I'd show you guys what a real man's body looks like.
This is what an athlete looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't watched that movie too many times. That's not one of the movies I know well, I guess.
Yeah.
No,
Nick Swartzen is like that creepy like stalker guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "I love you so much," and he's like up there, he's gonna fucking snipe him and shit. Perfect role for that guy. He fucking nailed that role, dude. Also, I think I could do a pretty good creepy guy like that. Like, I think if I committed to something like that, like I could probably.
You have the eyes for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Creepy
My
eyes.
boss always said, he's like, "Dude," he's like, "those eyes are too fucking intense." And I was like, if I could like go into this thing where like I like, and like fucking, like fucking aggro out. Sometimes he's like, "Don't look at me like that."
I feel like the director would be like, "Just be yourself. I think you'll be fine."
Yeah, just look at me like I'm a piece of meat. Like.
And I'm hungry. It's like, no.
I've always wondered, don't you think it hurts? Like you go and most roles you go and you try out for, and there's like hundreds of people and you might be the lucky one to get it.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Do you know where I'm going with it yet?
Is it when they cast you for like a shit role, like a weird role?
No, they just catch you out in the wild. Like you're just like minding your own business, like going grocery shopping, and just some Hollywood guy walks up to you. He's like, "Do you want to be in a film?"
It's like, "You seem perfect for this pedophile I'm working on."
I just did that yesterday. Sweet.
Yeah.
God, a cuck pedophile? That's gross in two ways.
Said cuck.
Cuck pedophile.
Huh.
How would that even work? Let's not go into the details.
Yeah, the details are horrible, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. We should ask you. You're in the cuck chair right now.
Yeah.
I'm fucking swerving, dude.
That's actually that's my favorite custom piece of furniture, because it used to be a chair like this. They can't see it on the camera, but someone sat in it and just fell through the back of it comedically.
Oh, I see
You
where
can
the
see where
back
it's
goes.
broken off. Yeah.
I thought I felt that guy. I was like, this is a weird chair.
Yeah, it was like a little office chair, and then someone like flopped in it, and it just went, and then they felt like feet in the air, like, oh,
Name
shit.
drop them.
I can't do that. I'll tell you after the pod. But now it's a perfect fucking. It even matches like this. It's a perfect footstool. Fucking, we're back.
These come back on automatically?
Yeah, they're right. They're already connected. My fucking battery was so fucking hot. It was like gonna explode. So, shout out Stay Hydrated Studios. This is why we need a professional.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I actually missed. I was like, I'm gonna miss the fucking little clips we can get from his beautiful production. That fucking AI Opus clips shit. I've been just like putting them all in there, and I'm like, make this funny, and then it cuts, and I'm like, sweet. Nothing I say. So all my clips are you and Tony talking, and I'm just like, yeah.
The
like,
derailer.
Yeah, pretty much. The only time it like puts me in is when I'm like, yeah, fucking whatever. And
You're like Hughes is gay, and this clip is like nailed it.
Yeah, well, that's the one that it cut. It was like AKA when you did the AKAs. Cut that. I was like, AKA the gay, and then Tony's like, I was gonna say that one. And I was like, just tell a lie. Say Tony the straight. And
That is funny.
And that's the only thing it cut in the whole rest of the episode. It's a lot of Tony. Tony apparently is very viral worthy.
Tony's funny, man.
Yeah.
Well, miss you, big dog.
Yeah, I miss Tony. I texted him, but he's fucking working nights right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from him since he left. What a terrible man.
No, he hasn't been texting back very
I'm
often.
kidding.
He texts me all the time. What are you guys talking about?
Tony stick together, dude.
The person he least knows here by a mile is just like, yeah, he keeps in contact with
Calls
me.
my brother all the
Calls
time.
me every day.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
No, what were we talking about before we had to cut?
Oh, we were talking about cucks and stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, I thought that was a good natural transition.
I think even the camera was like,
yeah.
It just shuts off again.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I had a roast battle recently.
Oh, that's right. How did it, dude? Okay, so I was gonna go. I went to the open mic.
Good friend, folks.
It was crazy. The open mic was nuts, dude. I haven't even told you about it yet. But I was gonna try to get on early and then go to the show because it didn't start till 8, I think.
7:30.
Okay, so I was like, I might be able to squeeze through. And then the host at the open mic was not doing bad, but they were vamping a lot of time in between sets. And it was like 2 to 3 minutes. It wasn't just like a minute. And so it got to the point where I think they had to tell them to like hurry it up because it was like 8:30 and they were only like 3/4 of the way through the list.
Whoa.
And so they fucking...
Is that the new club?
No, downtown. And so, like, by the time I was, like, about to get on, which I saw, she skipped 2 people, didn't use the bucket list, and then on the second person used the bucket list, and then skipped me. Because if they would have done the bucket list, then it would have been the guy before me, which was David Knotts, he's fucking great, and then me right after him. But instead, they called 2 people on the regular list, then David. And I was like, guess I'm not fucking getting on. So I was about to leave, and then she goes, oh, on deck, me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. She did it right. I was fucking judging too early. Then forgot I was up next, called a different person, and then that person was like, aren't you next? And I was like, I'm supposed to be, but I don't know what's happening. And then she's like, oh, that's right, sorry. Switched it back, and then I was able to get on. But it was a long fucking night.
Yeah.
So by the time I left there, I was like, I'm tired. So I went home and slept instead. My bad.
Oh, no, I don't care.
But I did text you, but I wanted to know how it went.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was a roast battle at Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club called You Look Like. And the whole premise of the show is you have to give one-line roasts to somebody. And what you have to say before every single thing is you look like, even for a retort or anything. And so it was a nice writing challenge. And I did pretty fucking good. Like, I lost by a couple decibels or whatever, but I was proud. You know me in competitions. And I was proud with how I did. You know, like, I wrote some good jokes. Everyone, like, all the comics were like, those were fucking good. So I was like, cool, we hit it. We hit the goal, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, roasting like a fucking Indian, like a half white, half Indian guy, and so I was like, I'm not gonna fucking win. But it was funny because we were like dressed the exact same. Like I took a video of it, and I'll just quickly show you guys what we both looked like on stage.
Oh, if you send it to me too, maybe we can clip it onto the vid. Holy shit, he looks like Jeremiah Torres a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah. Like we were wearing the same outfit. Yeah.
Okay, but how was the opponent? Did he bring some bangers?
Yeah, he had some pretty good. I mean, like they were like, you look like you lost your kids in the divorce kind of shit, you know.
That's pretty funny.
And, I mean, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
He was funny. Definitely. His name's Thad. Shout out Thad. He'll never see this, but you're a funny guy, and it was a lot of fun. But I came like looking for blood.
Yeah.
Like I said, I loved you in the new Jeffrey Dahmer movie, or the new Bollywood Jeffrey Dahmer movie, and I said like. You look like you only say the N-word around white people. That one got like a couple dudes were like running around with their arms open and shit like that. Yeah. To where like when I walked off stage, like I think like 3 or 4 comics walked up and they were like, "You had to end with that one. That was the strongest one by far." But yeah, a bunch of good zingies from all over, man.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was 1 or 2 that like kept you up at night, or like you were laying in bed that night and you're like, God damn it?
Oh, I flubbed. I super flubbed my last one, and I honestly not like everyone has a shitty excuse. I don't think this is an excuse, but what happened was I looked over my shoulder and I saw that I had like 6 seconds left, and I was like, skip all these. I starred one at the bottom because I was like, this is gold, and I started it, and I flubbed it, and it was like about pedophiles. And so they were like, oh. And so the joke was, he looks like his, not you, but...
I get where you're going.
He looks like the worst felony he ever committed is on a hard drive. But I said, he looks like... I mean, he looks like the worst thing is on a hard drive. And everyone goes, jeez. And I feel like that cost me the round. Yeah. Not gonna lie. Like, if I just shut my mouth or like even took the flub and just ended it, like I bet you, but that crowd was not fucking with that.
No.
Specific of a pedophile, because I called him a pedophile earlier, and people were like, "Ha!" You know,
like I see it.
Too real for that one.
Now, what are some things that he gave you that you were like, "Oh fuck"?
Did any of them keep you up?
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Oh, like hurt my feelings or whatever? Yeah. Absolutely not.
No, not hurt your feelings, but you were like, "That's a solid fucking." Like he nailed you.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I was in my head quite a bit. So, like, I was reading as he was...
Oh, okay.
Like, so, like, I would joke around. I'd be like, you know, or, like, whatever. Because I like to play... I like when you watch a roast battle and they lean into it. Where they're like, oh, he looks like a pedophile. And then he goes, eh. And then he, like, wiggles his eyebrows.
You have a left thumb, too. A left hand, too.
Whenever he says pedophile, he points right to you.
Yeah. You know, But no, it was fun. I like leaned into it, you know, where he was like, "Oh, you look like you like eating ass," and I'm like, ugh, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, he hit me. He said I look like I hit women. Not wrong. No, he said
they weren't so
I
fast.
look like I lost my kids in the divorce. I think that was probably the funniest one.
Yeah.
Nothing where I was like, what am I doing? But
you're just like, kids, you want to go to Pup the Band? And they're like, no, Dad, stop asking.
Yeah.
I think when you play into it, I notice when I do fucking roast, it always goes to the gay stuff. They're always like, this guy's gay. And
well,
I'm
that's
like,
because you take care of yourself.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what that happened last time when I went to do that roast competition. And I fucking made it to second place, which I was pretty shocked. But that guy that I went up against, who's really funny, and I didn't think I was going to make it past him, pretty much just called me gay the whole time. And I was like, I mean, if I am, I'm looking at you, bitch. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you play into their roast, it definitely takes a little bit of wind out. So
no, not even that. I just think it's like as an audience member more fun.
Yeah,
because like other than be like,
I don't know. I like when they
it's...
chimp out when the roast is too hard and you see the person's like shield break and they're just like, all right, that was a good one. But
they were like super generic white guy jokes.
Yeah,
where I was like, whatever. You know, like whatever. And plus, it's you look like, and I'm well aware what this looks like. So like I'm like under no delusion that I'm sexy or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like
that would be fucking amazing, dude. I would love that if you really walked into rooms and you're like, I look hot today.
I'm like, I nailed it again.
Yeah,
you know,
should have done my lashes better.
So another thing about Anthony is that he is a DOC officer.
It's crazy. That does blow my mind every time I hear it. You're just in there with prisoners all fucking day. Does it get weird?
Yeah, there's weird parts to it here and there.
You're like, and if it doesn't, I make it weird.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Bray it.
Shout out Prison Rape Elimination Act.
Yeah, I just shouted out a rape act.
Yeah. We see Anthony protesting. What's he protesting? You don't want to know.
You don't want to appeal Priya. No.
I'm bored at work.
That's a fucking clip. I put a clip before every episode, and this one's gonna be you going, appeal Priya.
Oh, God.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
Ew, have you had to stop one of those?
No,
I never stop them.
I never stop. No, I haven't. Knock on wood, I've never came across anything like that.
That's fucking. Yeah. Thank goodness, dude. There's a.
You have any stories you want to share on the pod?
Is there any stories you can share?
Well, yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble.
Let me
I've heard some shit.
I have a prison story if you don't want to share.
Go ahead. I'll think of some while you're...
It's not my story, to be fair. This is from my favorite podcast. But one of the guys is very, like, uptight, vanilla. Never eaten a fucking apple pie because he thinks it has too much seasoning. And his wife was like, you need to get a real fucking job. Because he's, like, a comic book guy. And he worked at some rec center. And he was like, okay. So she made him go to a prison interview. And he got there, and he said the first day... He gets through and he's walking and he looks to his left and there's a guy sitting with another guy's head on his lap, and the guy's like keeps looking back and forth, like his head on a swivel, and the other guy's on his lap facing him, and he's like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, he didn't register that dude's probably getting his dick sucked.
Really?
And he was like, oh God. He goes, that was already like, I don't want to be here. But then they put him in a room, and he goes, and this guy comes out, this fucking tank, like a fire hydrant built dude. And they put him in the room with that guy, and that guy just keeps circling him for no reason. He's just walking in circles around, staring him down. And he's not a big guy. He's like a very scrawny, like vanilla white dude. So he's just like, am I supposed to hit him or something? I don't know what to do. And so they just left him in there for like 5 minutes. And
then where the fuck did he interview at?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they made him go through all this shit. And then he's like, I don't want to go back there. And his wife's like, you're going back there. They called him for another interview, and then he went in, and they're like, what do you want to do with your... what do you see your dream being in the future? He's like, I'd like to paint, I think, on a boat maybe. And they're like, what the fuck? So he didn't get the job, but they called him and offered it to him, and he just told his wife that they were like, nah, they didn't like me.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I don't know why they made him go through this weird shit. I don't know how your interview was, but...
Yeah, it definitely wasn't around any prisoners.
Yeah.
Like, it was just basically like in the administration building, and then... it was a panel interview, which I've been on a few of those. Those are very intimidating. They can be. But you basically had like a custody staff, like a corrections officer, then you had like a sergeant, and then like a person in admin, so like HR, and then like a random oddball one, or just
some guy just monitoring.
Well, they were all like part of the interview panel. They would just ask you questions, but they try to like have a different person of different like job classification there. But no, I've got some pretty crazy stories. That we have like a lot of drugs in the prison.
Oh yeah, I hear that.
What?
Yeah, what? And so like I've had to respond to a bunch of incidences where like people overdose on spice and stuff, and
don't worry about that.
That was the spirit of the one you didn't save.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Michael, you only had a year left. Didn't make it out.
No, but yeah, I was working in a living unit one night, and this is like 9:00 at night, and all I hear is, there's like some most guys are asleep or in their cells, but the day room is still open, so there's handful of guys out just like playing dominoes, playing cards, talking,
at
whatever.
Night?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's not a high security prison.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking max.
We have a max unit, but we have like a number of living units, and like all but 2 of them are, so like the majority of them are all minimum security, and then we have 1 medium security and 1 max security. But I worked in one of the minimum securities, so it's basically like a glorified dorm room, really.
That's crazy.
But the day room is open until like 10:00. I think the time is where we shut it
That's
down.
Not too bad. Yeah.
So it's like 9:00, and everyone's just kind of doing their thing, and I'm at the desk, and I hear just a screaming sound, just like a pig squealing, and I'm like, oh! So I hop up.
You can check your phone. Like, ooh, thank goodness.
Yeah, right.
That's your ringtone.
That's how I fall asleep. It's white noise.
Yeah.
But,
hogs being attacked.
Pig noise.
But I had my flashlight, and so I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, there's an upper tier and a lower tier. So I just guessed that it was coming from the upper tier. It could have been either. Thankfully, I guessed right. So I'm like running up the stairs, put my flashlight on, and I'm looking in the cells. And there's this guy just like flopped on the ground, just like on his side, just kind of like flailing around. And so
you're like, quit playing.
Yeah. So I opened the door, and he's just like seizing on the ground, like overdosing. And his cellie is just chilling there, just like eating a bowl of rice. Just like and he was screaming for probably about 20 seconds. Like, man, I don't know about 20, but maybe like
long enough.
15, long enough for him to be like, oh, I should alert someone of this.
Yeah.
He never popped out of the cell at all. So
nice,
I like,
dude.
you know,
it probably wasn't even his rice. He was like, nice.
Yeah, right.
Dumbass.
Yeah. I get dinner made and I lose a cellie for the night.
Yeah.
No, but I go in the room and like I see that he's seizing or, you know, overdosing. I do all my protocol stuff. I, you know, alert the facility that it's happening, sell the day room in so everybody goes in their cells, direct the other guy out of the cell into the day room to separate him.
Did he take his rice?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he walked down with the rice. And basically, like, you know, response staff showed up. They ended up giving him Narcan and stuff and taking him out on a hospital trip. But yeah, homie was out cold. Like other than just screaming and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got more stories later, but yeah.
You think he's embarrassed?
I have a bunch of buddies. Probably not. I have a bunch of buddies that work in a bunch of different prisons, and so this isn't specifically from anybody at any prison, but I heard a really funny thing, that there's this guy at one of these Washington prisons, and a real bad guy. Guess he was touching a stepkid, and then the mom found him, and like shotgun shot him in the face, and like blew his face off.
Damn.
And has like no eyeballs, like they're stitched shut. And as a joke, someone took his sunglasses and replaced him with reading glasses. So the dude's walking around with like regular glasses, but he has like his eyes stitched shut. Which, remember, pedophile, got his face blown off. It's okay to laugh. And then for 2 weeks straight, people put googly eyes on his glasses. So he's walking around and it's like...
Why are you staring at me like this, Frank? Dude, that's fucking crazy. I can't imagine. So for a while, Instagram was like fucking algorithming just prison videos to me for no reason. And at first they were fun. They were like funny, like pranks. Or it was just like people like getting into fights here and there. And then it slowly got darker and darker, where it was like a guy would be on the floor and then you just see like somebody drag him into a cell, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, dude. And like that's how it always fucking starts. I got like a couple of fun videos on like these people talking at a table, and then the next one was like, so you don't think trans lives matter? And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what happened to the fun topics? Like, I want to see people trying to date, you know?
You're like, I want to see them making a jail fire under their bed and doing hibachi tacos.
Yeah, that's the one. They would show me the ones where they're like, they have like a whole setup, and they're like, this is how you fucking do it. And then he'd open his toilet to be like a full fucking saute board and shit. Man, I was like, this is crazy. Amazing. I like watching those. Yeah, the other ones, no, those are horrible and violent.
Yeah.
I want to see that in real life if I'm going to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy environment to have to spend a majority of your day, you know? I'm sure it can be stressful at times.
Do you ever see somebody that's in like the minimum security? I was curious about this. Like they're in the minimum security section and you're like, they do not belong in this one.
Well, they're allowed to look people up, like what they did and shit, right?
Yeah, we have the capabilities of looking their crimes up. To answer your question though, like, there's definitely a bunch of fucked up, like everybody that, you know, the majority of the guys that we have there are all like, they have the capabilities of violence.
Yeah.
But like most of them just want to live their everyday life and just kind of like get by, and they have their own routine. Because there's surprisingly a bunch of stuff that you can do in prison.
Yeah.
Like most people may think...
Rape for one? You know, that's
Shout
fun.
out Priya again. But I think a lot of people think that like people are in prison and they just like can't leave their cell, or if they do, they can't leave the day room. But like they have like hours and hours of recreation. They have like something that's called call-outs. So which is like maybe like you sent a medical kite in because your leg hurts, then you'll get scheduled to the hospital so you can like during medical movements you walk out and go to the, you know, medical. They have like They have a chapel there. They have like a yoga class you can go to
That's
there.
crazy.
They even have They have a podcast room there. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
We made it.
They have a room there where they do podcasts with staff, and like wherever that goes, it goes. But like the amount of stuff you can do there is just it's crazy.
It really is like a college.
It is. It looks like a college on the pictures too. But anybody has
diversity.
the capability of being just a freak show and just snapping. But I think their temperament over time will like make their security level go down. So like anybody has the capability of doing that, but like there are guys that can do a lot of damage that are minimal.
Molly, we miss you, Nuck. My God. But we put a pin in it. You said there's a lot of dudes that are capable of violence.
Yeah, they all are. You just gotta, be professional at all times. Talk to them like you talk to, me and you having a conversation, and just be respectful, and you'll find that it's not as bad as it might seem on TV and all that.
Yeah, you do have a zen feel to you. You're very calm. I don't think I've ever seen you anywhere, but like,
Yeah.
I get there.
Well, that's about it for today. We're going to be back next week with a new guest, and may or may not be in the office again, so sorry, Nuck, we miss you. Why don't you send them off?
yeah, this has been fucking mush. Can't build us up, can't break us down. Don't fucking listen.
We'll see you soon, baby. Thank you.
It's like OG mush back in the studio.
Yeah. Back and doing it, baby. Well, I'll talk to you till the camera dies. Why the fuck not? We said our goodbye. You have a chimp out story from prison or anything?
I've seen a bunch of guys on one-on-one watches where you get placed because, you're suicidal or, whatever the case may be.
It's pretty bad
I've
chimp.
seen a lot of people smear their shit across the window, smeared across the door, everything, and just crash out.
That's crazy, dude. That takes effort to touch your own shit and then also smear it. That's gonna get under your nails for sure.
Oh, they eat it. They'll eat it and spit it back out on the window, and because
crazy.
there's an officer that has to sit there and watch it, and that smell up there gets so putrid.
Fuck.
Like, I have a bottle of Vicks in my backpack at all times.
Fuck. That's a good spot to end it. That is crazy as fuck.
Bye.
God bless
Yeah,
America.
God bless corrections, dude.
Anthony Beisel, everybody. Thank you for coming, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
My fucking watch is off one time.